Good evening, everyone. It's just Damien. I've just got a quick couple of updates, basically, what's going on in my life, and a couple of positives at the moment. I just need to sort a couple of things out and then just see if I can move forward with these things. So as you may all remember, that I was involved in a hit and run the other week, a couple of weeks ago Monday, sorry. Someone drove into me and drove off. The police have been informed today on the situation. I did inform the police a couple of weeks ago, but it's only got round to them check it out, but they found the driver that's done it, and hopefully I just need to try to get a couple of bits of paperwork sorted out from the place that I had the impact repaired. Just need receipt, proof of payment and that sort of stuff, and hopefully send that to the person that's hit into me and hopefully get the money back. Also, regarding my blue badge, I've got a blue badge. It's just came today. I got that sorted. I think it was the day I went into the council, the day after someone drove into me, to get that sorted. I've had the photograph done. I've got the blue badge, but the blue badge is only temporary until I can get the amended one sorted out. Basically, they've spelt my name wrong. On the badge, it should be an A, D-A-M-I-A-N, instead of an E. So I rang up today and rang the local authority, Darlington Borough Council, and just said, I've got a blue badge off you. It's arrived today, but you spelt my name wrong, and typed it up and took my details, took my name, and just said, basically, this is what we had down on our system, and we're sorry about that. What we'll do is send you a new badge out free of charge, I think, until I can keep this one and use it until I can get the amended one received, but I have to take it back in. The negative, and that what I really can't understand really about this blue badge, about this whole blue badge situation, they needed me, when I got accepted for the blue badge, they asked me to go into the council with proof of identification of who I am and my address and my age, date of birth, that kind of thing. So they asked, I think, the minimum 2 or 3 forms of identification, so they can actually check to see if you are this person and to check the details that they're putting in are correct. Basically, all my identification says D-A-M-I-A-N, and surely if they're checking the identification, then there's no excuse to make mistakes. So I'm a bit pissed off about it, or a bit naffed off. But at the end of the day, it's just a spelling mistake, and I've got a new badge. I'm allowed to keep this badge until the amended one arrives. I just have to take this one back to the council when I get the amended one. So there's that. I don't have to pay anything or anything. It was just a silly mistake that should never have happened. Also, I've been checking for a couple of recalls on my car, no recalls on my car. Basically, my Xbox Live does run out at the end of the month. However, with it being up until Christmas, I've just put it on my Christmas list and asked my mum to get me it, or my mum and dad, for Christmas. So it saves me money, plus I have to buy a couple of people Christmas presents. I still don't have a clue on what to get people. I struggle to buy. It gets harder and harder every year. However, got a couple of ideas lined up, and I just want to see if things come down in price on the Black Friday tag. On the Black Tag Friday event, it's just that my parents only allow me to spend certain price. So yeah, that's what I did. That's what I did last year. I got my sister's present last year on the Black Tag event, and I think I saved more than half price on that. And she uses it, she's got her money's worth. It's just need to keep your eye on things. The other week I did have a look for something for my sister on Amazon, but with me checking it in the space of a couple of hours, just like that, gone up about £6 or £7. So just have to keep checking these things, checking your prices, that sort of stuff. Basically, I've got a couple of things lined up for tomorrow. I'm going swimming with my brother. He's picking me up at 11. We don't get out to do much. I think last time we did something was London in when we went on Lewis swimming, but I can have him as unpaid support because I don't have a permanent support worker at the moment, and I don't have any support whatsoever. So I've got support money coming in, so I'm just classing my friends and family as temporary support, as voluntary support when we go out. So I'm just using my expenses, so to speak, for them, which you're allowed to do. Basically, they are supporting me, and it is their expenses, so I'm not fiddling the books anywhere or anything. I do get receipts on things. I am legitimate on things. I am trying to see if I can use my support money for my car insurance next year. Car insurance is up for renewal. However, I'm hoping to have a support worker on the car insurance to support me while I'm driving, or to do some driving for me. And I want to pay for the insurance fully for me, my dad, my aunt, and then pay for the support person to be on the car insurance through the support money, because it is from a support worker. Social care assessment's not done yet, and I don't have any support worker. I did have someone supporting me through Darlington Association on Disability. I used the Independent Living Hub day services for a while, for a couple of years, and I had temporary support for outreach, which is where their support worker works you in your home or takes you out around the community, that sort of thing. And Ian was temporary support, but I did want him to be my permanent support worker last time, and we did look into it. However, because I was going to the Independent Living Hub, and with staffing arrangements and me being part of the Independent Living Hub and him working there as well, it was against staff policy for a member of staff to be a permanent support worker and employed by the person. Sorry, just tablet. Yeah, to be employed by the person as well. So with staffing, with issues like that, I couldn't do it. However, I'm not going to the independent living hub now. I'm looking into different options and that to broaden my horizons, to go somewhere more autism based for day services. So with a bit of luck, I've meeting with Ian tomorrow at my house, 7:45 PM, I believe, just to discuss things, to see what he can offer me and what I can offer him, and see if it is feasible or is plausible, basically. So I've got that to look into, basically, and I think I've been trying to get the support with my new support worker. I think I've been meeting with my support worker and trying to get this sorted out for over 6 months, I think. But things do generally take longer for me, and I tend to things tend to go wrong more for me than other people. I just got to go with the flow, but the longer it takes, the harder the fight, the harder the work you have to put in, the more the end result is worth it to me, basically. Yeah, so basically I do want things to be sorted by Christmas. However, staffing issues, with staffing issues, one person's off, and then another person's off, or one person's ill, and then another person's ill, basically. And as I said, we've had a couple of family disagreements and family upset over a couple of their things on the policy and that, and I just want Jane, who's supporting me for Downton Association and Disability, just to go over a couple of things with my parents on the phone, and then speak to my mum. Then we can get things sorted again. But I do want things sorted by Christmas, hopefully. But I really can't see that happening. And we've just got a couple of things on the action plan we need to finish off, tidy up, amend, and then start putting plans into place, basically. Basically, so things starting to go back uphill a bit, but slowly. As I said, the autism support, what I started earlier in the year, which was an 8-week program, and then it got progressed on to 6 weeks. It's different staff with them now, basically, because of it being reevaluated. A lot of the staff got moved to different projects for a couple of months, so they've had to employ new staff, basically, to run this course, because they thought it was unfair on the other staff being moved to different projects and that. But when I was doing it before, I was meeting with them once a week. It did start again last week, but the fella and the lady this week, what I met last week, said he doesn't think that I might need to go once a week anymore. He just wants to do it a bit different. And I did feel a real connection with him and the lady that was doing it. To be honest, I think the lady said that was doing it with me said she passed her test on the 5th or 7th attempt, driving test. I passed my test on the 2nd attempt. However, I was at the driving test centre 3 times, basically. The brake light bulb had blown on the car on the 1st attempt, so they wouldn't let us out. And then the second Then my first proper attempt, there was a couple of issues. I think I got one major, and my nerves got the better of me. And basically, yeah. So this leads on to my next part of the video. Goals and achieving goals. For what I'm going to say may be beneficial to you or may not be beneficial to you, basically. If you set yourself the right goal and the right target and work at it, and you follow your heart and follow your dreams, and if you enjoy it as well, the more likely you're at to succeed in the time frame that you're planning and in the way you want to pass as well. Basically, for example, when I learned to drive, I had about 4 hours a week worth of lessons for about a year in order to pass, and I kept saying to my instructor, I want to pass by August if I can. He kept asking me why I wanted to pass by August, and I just said, my parents are going to go away in August and I would like to be passed by then, because my dad takes me places and I wanted to be able to go to places on my own in the car while they were away, basically. So he said, so I just said, and I did it. I passed my test before I went away by the skin of my teeth, I think, because what had happened was my driving test was the Thursday, and I think my parents went away on the Monday. So that's about 4 days, I think. So passed my test. I learned, like, at the time when I was doing my test, I was telling everyone for weeks, I'm going to pass it, I'm going to pass it. A couple of weeks before my test, because first attempt when I failed, I think I failed in the June. The next week I'll wait until August for another test, because they were that busy, basically. So I kept telling everyone, I'm going to pass the test, I want to pass my driving test. I think my mum was going to see my nana and granddad on the Friday, the day after I passed my test. And I said, I'm going to be, when I pass, when I pass, we'll be going, I'll take you to see Nana Sheila on the Friday. They were saying, don't build your hopes up, and not set yourself up for a fall, or just get over the top. They didn't want me building my hopes up when, if I didn't fail, if I built my hopes up too much and if I failed, I would have been more upset. So I think the roads were the quietest I'd ever been on the time of my test, to be honest. I think there was an England game on that year. I'm not sure I can't remember honestly if it was a World Cup or a Euro. I think it might have been a Euro. Forgive me if I'm wrong, but I think there was an England game on that year. I think there was an England game that year, I think. That day. So I gets up that morning, have a work, I go to the job centre basically, and make me advice to sign on. This was when I was on Job Seekers. I sign on and just say what had happened was I used to sign on and then used to get my wage slips for the paper round, and then having to go back in a couple of hours after I'd signed on to take my evidence in, when they could have just made me my appointment. When they could have just made me my appointment from when I got the evidence. So basically, yeah. So I go in, sign on and say I won't be in this afternoon to have my evidence in like I normally am. Got my driving test. So before my instructor picks me up, I have a word with myself. I'd warned myself in the mirror and said, I can pass, you can pass. Just driving around near the church on my driving test. No, on the lesson before my driving test, and said to my instructor, I know I can pass. And he said, I wouldn't have put you in for your test if I didn't think you could pass. If I didn't think you couldn't pass. And there was a bit of an incident. We were driving up Macmillan Road. Not really an incident, we're driving up Macmillan Road and we're turning right. This is where I normally turn right anyway when I'm going towards my nana's. Basically, yeah, there was a car coming down, so I just stopped and waited a bit too long, and he just said, you could have gone then, and just said, it's better to get a minor than a fail. At the test centre he said to me that he passed on his second attempt, his driving lesson and his advanced driving lessons for being a driving instructor. Basically, he passed his on the second attempt. So on your driving test you're allowed someone in the car with you, so I thought it'd be better having him in the car with me in case I failed and he's got a better idea and understanding of what I failed on. So up until the test, for a couple of weeks before my test, I was built up for it, pumped up, and I just knew that I was going to pass that day. I told myself, if I can get it out the car park without stalling, I should. If I can get it out the car park without stalling, I'll pass my test. Basically, what had happened was, the first time I did my test, first proper time I did the test, Basically, I stalled it coming out of the test centre car park. This was even before the main road. This was going into another car park. I stalled it coming out the car park, and it all went downhill from there. So I just thought, if I can get it out the car park without stalling, I'll be able to pass my... I should do it. So we gets out on the test, and I didn't do an emergency stop, to be honest. I didn't. She said we might do an emergency stop, and I said, and we never did it, I don't think. Towards the test, you had to do 2 manoeuvres, I think. A Bay Park, and this was the same examiner that took me the first time. So for my driving test, I had to do a Bay Park and turning the road. So done the turning the road and kept myself under control throughout the test. But last 10-15 minutes, maybe 15-20 minutes, I could feel my heart getting faster, basically, and my nerves were starting to kick in. And she said, "Can you do a Bay Park?" This was driving into the test centre. Very last thing I had to do. Worst Bay Park I'd ever done. So I'm sat there. She said, the examiner, Sandra, I think, had to go out and have a look around the car, see how bad it was. So I'm sat there. I'm on the driver's door, on the driver's door card armrest thing, and I'm looking out the window like this. Heart had sank, going slow, and thinking I'd failed it. Honestly thought I failed it on the very last thing. So she said, "Please say you passed it." I go, "Yes," like this. And I looked behind me, the instructor was crying. First time I'd ever done that with anyone, and the only time he's ever done that with anyone. And he did get a bit emotional. I tried to give the examiner a hug, ended up putting him in a headlock out of excitement. Thought she'd take my license off me for that. Basically. And I get home and run down the street to my aunt's and my nana's. My sister was there as well, with it being off for the holidays. So my aunt just lives a few doors down the street from me, maybe 8 or 9 doors down. I don't know how much, but we came past the house anyway. So my instructor drove me home, like they do, and they say, "Could you..." I should have really just asked him to drop me off down there, to be honest. So I should have, but he said, "Can you..." I thought it was mandatory that they had to drop you off home, but he said he just dropped me off at my house. I didn't even think, and I ran down the street, and my aunt, I think my aunt had woke up, was asleep on the couch. I think she'd woke up while I was driving past, while my driving instructor was driving me home, and I was running down the street and she said he's passed. But I get in and I was told by my instructor and by my mum, everyone, not to be driving the same day because we're too excited. So, as I say, I had this paper round. So on the Friday, I got up slightly earlier and rushed around and got my paper round done, so I could get out in the car for the first time. To be honest, did feel a bit weird. Whenever I stopped at a junction, traffic lights, I was looking at the passenger seat, thinking there'd be someone there. But I get to me. But going back to a bit earlier on, I was, as I say, I was going down to my nana's, and that's telling him I passed, and she said he's passed my aunt. So I run home. Shaken with excitement, I think, and I came into the bedroom, and the very first thing I did was, when I got home, take the P plates out and put them in the car. I think they were in an old footrest I used to have. Yeah, I think they were in an old footrest I used to have, basically. So I did that, and my dad goes to I think someone my dad works with lives just around the corner from us, and he says to my dad, when's Damien passed, we noticed he's passed. And my dad says, what? Instead of seeing the P plates on his car. So my neighbour, just someone over the road from us, I think, yeah, I went home, put the P plates on the car, and then back down the street. My neighbour over the road from us, was coming over, what do the P plates mean? And I just said I've passed my test. So everyone was a bit emotional about that. My mum was telling people from work I didn't even know. They were ringing me up and wishing me congratulations, basically. Basically, my mum wanted... I don't know if my mum got in early that day. And I think she was wearing the window. I can't remember. I don't know if she got in early that day, but I think she was going to ring. The CAMHS service in Darlington Child and Adolescents Mental Health Service, otherwise known as the Mulberry Centre or the Marion Centre. There was doctors there said wouldn't be able to pass, he'd never be able to pass his test. And I rang a couple of days later after her, and I got through. To be honest, he was he was the one that answered the phone. I just said who I was and that, and I said, I thought you'd like to know I passed my driving test, and we just, yeah. So he was happy for it. Basically, doctors thought I wouldn't be able to get my test. Instructor ones thought I wouldn't be able to pass my test. And a couple of times I thought I wouldn't be able to pass my test. But the point of this story is, if you've got something you want to achieve in your head, and people are saying you can't do it, set yourself a realistic goal and a realistic target, and listen to yourself deep down, not what other people say, and just go out, prove people wrong. Basically, since passing my driving test, I've got signed up for an apprenticeship once. And it wasn't full of nice people, and I got thrown off on the second day. All started when I took my SEN statement and special educational needs statement, and apparently it was an admin error why I was taken on, but they were lying, trying to cover their own backs. But there was a lad on that on the induction with me, and he didn't like me at college, and I think he used to pick on me, I think. And him and this other lad basically were saying I shouldn't have learnt to drive and all that, because for how long it's taken me, he said he shouldn't have learnt to drive for how long it's taken him. He should have just gave up. He should have just gave up and not done it. They said it's not worth it. Even this other lad, they said if it was them, they wouldn't have done it. I don't even know how he knew that it'd take me that long to learn to drive before I'd even told him. But to be honest, I think he was going around telling everyone he had a load of points on his licence, to be honest, and if he got another set of points, he'd lose his licence. Meanwhile, I've been past my driving test 8 year, and I've got a full clean licence. I've done the Pass Plus, and I've had no incidences with the police or anything. I have had a couple of incidences with the police, but they weren't my fault. They were with other people. As I've already said in this video about that hit and run, basically that was 100% not my fault. But who would you have been in the car with, to be honest? Someone that's got 0 points on the licence, or someone that can get another set of points and lose it, to be honest. Also, with the driving, I am glad in a way that it did take as long as it did, and I did have a struggle to learn to drive, because it means I'm more passionate about driving, and I do take pride in my driving, and the end result just means more to me. Just the longer something takes me, and the harder the struggle, the harder the fight, the end result just is worth more to me personally. Basically, people say that I can't do things, and I go out and I try to prove them wrong. Most cases I do prove them wrong, and that's me in life. I don't like to take no for an answer, and I like to fight my cause. Basically, a lot of people think I complain all the time and I shouldn't be fighting these causes, and sometimes I play on the Asperger's card. But for me, I just want to fight for the person I am inside and others like myself, basically. So basically, I don't like to take no for an answer. I do like to prove people wrong. I know I can get a little bit upset and a little bit frustrated at times, like I think when I first mentioned my car incident, I put a couple of videos where I was a bit upset, but I do appreciate the piss take, and I do appreciate the nasty comments, basically, because the piss take, the nasty comments, just inspire me more and make my determination even stronger for me to make awareness so that I can educate people like that. Basically, you use the negative, turn it into a positive. So as Lewis Hamilton said at the Italian Grand Prix, you got a lot of boos by the Italian supporters because they're all Ferrari, anything red. However, he said their boos and the negative criticism just makes them stronger, and that's how I try to roll at the end of the day. Basically, just use the negative as a driving force to make you stronger and to make you a better person. So there's that. Basically, yeah, like my social care assessment. When I first got that, when I first got the social care assessment, I had 3 social care assessments. Twice I failed. I appealed against it the first time. Then I got a solicitor and the ombudsman involved. Basically, the ombudsman was that annoyed by the council and that pissed off about them that they wanted to see the results of this next social care assessment, of the one what I got. But basically, they don't normally do that. The ombudsman normally just gets you another just looks at what happened in their other assessment and basically just gets you a new assessment. Basically, and does nothing after that. But she was that annoyed with them that they needed to see changes, and that with it, there was a lot of contradictory things what the council had put with the ombudsman, and a lot of, I think, contradictory saying one thing meaning another. Forgive me if I'm wrong, but I think that's what it is. Yeah, there was a lot of contradictory things in it, and basically there was a couple of times my mum was supposed to have an appointment for carers assessment. The carers assessment just to my mother. Basically, what had happened was she gets there she gets there. The social worker isn't in town, so she misses her appointment. She comes home, misses her appointment because the social worker's not in town and they can't guarantee when she's going to be back and if she's going to be back. So I tell the social care, no, the ombudsman, what had happened, and basically the counsellor had replied, your mother couldn't be bothered to wait for the social worker. Why would she want to wait for a social worker for an assessment when they can't even guarantee when the social worker is going to be there because she's out of town? So there's that. As I said, I'm always up for a fight and up for a challenge. Not that kind of fight, but for me it's more about the mental fight and that kind of fight, to be honest. Basically, when I was trying to get the social care assessment, Tracy Roberts from Darlington Association of Disability said, don't be seeing, it's not a fight, don't see it as a fight, but I had to see it as a fight in my mind in order to get the best out of myself. I have made mistakes through upset and confusion where things have been misinterpreted as threats, and I've had the police round at my house a couple of times. I am 100% very sorry about this. I am getting better at challenging people, but sometimes I don't know how to deal with my emotions, and I do lash out on people that I shouldn't, and things sometimes generally get misinterpreted. I didn't mean any upset or harm by this. I'm extremely sorry and appreciate your support, and thank you for sticking by me. That's one of the things I do need to learn, how to handle my frustration and anger. So we tell the social care, the second social care assessment I had, we tell the social care people that I get frustrated and a bit upset. They say I need anger management. I freaking don't need anger management, it's just frustration. Because you're not doing your jobs properly, and I'm getting frustrated because you're not doing your jobs properly. Well, if you did your jobs properly anyway, they wouldn't get frustrated, so that's another story. Basically, so I'm a fighter, and through determination and fighting, like for me, as I said, I don't take no for an answer. I don't just, if I'm trying to apply for something, I don't just email one email address. I find loads of email addresses for that particular company and then send me email through to that company. With this, I've through doing things this way and never giving up hope on my dreams and being genuine and congruent with people, I have basically gotten into the F1 paddock, had to look around the Mercedes garage, look around the paddock. There's that. I've had a local race meeting experience day at Croft Circuit in near Darlington. I've been out with Virgin Media twice on experiences, and I got a dash cam from Halfords free of charge. However, it cost £65 getting it fitted. I could have got it fitted at Halfords for £30, but because I didn't get it from Halfords, they wouldn't install it. purchased it from Alfred's when I got it through their head office. So there's that, and also I'm just wanting to start new things, meet new people, and nobody's perfect. Nobody is the same. What is normal anyway? Just being yourself and being that way. That's what I generally tell people, basically. And everyone needs to make mistakes in their life, so you can learn by it. Basically, you can make a mistake and you can meet new people through that mistake, or learn something new what you didn't think you learned before. And basically, I can't think of it. I was going to say something then, but think about a couple of incidences where I've made a mistake getting on the bus, or made some sort of mistake and I've ended up meeting someone that I hadn't seen for years or a few months. Who was it? I think it was a show, I can't remember. Can't remember. I think there was a couple of incidences where I've made a couple of mistakes and bumped into someone that I never thought I'd see again. But I could be wrong. Could be wrong, yeah. So basically, I need to sort my swimming. So basically, I'm going swimming tomorrow, I think. Just need to sort out some swimming stuff. Might take my blue badge, but I'm not sure. Basically, yeah. Also, if I didn't have Asperger's syndrome, would I have still met? Would I, if I didn't have Asperger's syndrome, would I have still met people that I used to know from my past? Tricky one there, isn't it? Yep. I bet you're all wondering what I'm thinking. Basically, my aunt used to go out with this bloke. This bloke used to have a daughter through another partnership, and he used to bring his daughter over on a Sunday, and we used to play Sega Mega Drive, I think, or just have lunch together, that kind of thing. Basically, and I was referred to Mind. This was possibly it was possibly I seen him in Bedford Bonds. It was possibly about 20 years. crikey. Yeah, it was possibly about, when I met her, I met her last year, but it was possibly about 20 years since I last saw her, basically. The doctors referred me to Mind Mental Health Service, Borough Road, Darlington, basically, just to get a bit of extra help. But who was running this car? Who was running the cars?
Maybe beyond my abilities at the moment.
Sue just started there for some strange reason. I don't know why. Who was running this program, or who was assigned for this program? This lass that I used to be friends with years ago. So if I didn't have Asperger's syndrome, would I have met her?
You need to unlock your iPhone first.
Oh, shut up. If I didn't have Asperger's syndrome, would I have met her again? Because under those circumstances, I was going to Mind for mental health support for my Asperger's syndrome for that, and basically I told her that I asked her if she was second meeting, I asked her if she was from Darlington, and you said she was explaining, she thought I knew who she was and I didn't. And that was a bit strange. I just got a bit of a shock. To be totally honest with you, when I first met her, I did think I knew her from somewhere, or she looked like someone, but I thought it was possibly Nicola. I thought it was possibly Nicola that was my old connections advisor from, but it wasn't. It was still a Nicola though, but somewhat different. Basically, I'm 28. And yeah, I'm not getting any younger. I do want to progress on with my life. I do want to be settled by the time I'm 30. Another thing what I want to do when I'm 30, I'm going to go to Barcelona for the pre-season testing for the F1. Basically, yeah. It's going to be cold, and I don't think many people go to that, but it would be nice to see the cars before they start battling it out for real, just to see what the cars look like pre-season. And I want to do that. To be honest, I did look at going to pre-season testing this year, and basically I was in Benidorm. I was in Benidorm with a support worker in February, and we came back on the Tuesday, and the Monday, first day pre-season testing, so I messaged Bradley Lord through Mercedes-Benz just to see how far and how easy it was to get to Barcelona from Benidorm, but it turns out that Barcelona to Benidorm was further than it was from my house to Silverstone for when I go, basically. So I would like to do that, but at the end of the day, that day we went to Alicante, I think, in Spain, and I'd look around some luxury yachts and had a blanket factory tour. It was a free trip, so there's that. Thank you and good night. I really need a wee now. Sorry the video was a bit long, and sorry if you've seen me twitching a bit the last 5-10 minutes, but I really need a wee. Thank you and good night.